Hey guys, what's up? This is a request video by someone who wanted to know a little bit more about my crossbow, and I figured it might help a few of you out as well who would be interested in potentially making one of these blasters. Now, I'm not really going to go over step by step how to make it because essentially it is just a snap with a few extra pieces on it. So I'm going to put a link in the description to the actual step by step how to make a snap guide, and then I'm just going to talk about a little bit what makes it different, and I'll put a parts list in the description as well. So make sure that you read that. So let's get started, I guess. Before I actually break it down a little further to show you what else I have, I'm going to show you the external pieces first. So obviously the major difference between this and a normal snap would be that this is powered by the surgical tubing rather than the spring inside, which obviously there isn't one in this particular blaster. What makes the compact snap bow, like crossbow, like the one I built, different from most snap crossbows is the fact that it's powered by the surgical tubing rather than being powered by half-inch PVC bow arms, which generally would be a lot larger to get the same amount of power. So that's the major difference between that and a lot of other various types of snaps and snap crossbows. So the major difference, obviously, being the surgical tubing. But what's cool about this one is essentially it's very easy to make, and you can actually make this homemade with just your local hardware store. You don't need to order any parts. Like K26s for most snaps are pretty standard, which you have to order from like MasterCar, a few other things. So that's pretty much it. Starting with the head of the crossbow, I guess you could say. This is a 1¼ inch PVC T with a hole drilled out. Originally, this was before I had all my hole saw bits, so this is with a Dremel. So if I were to make one now, it'd be a lot cleaner. That just goes to the coupler in the actual tube, main tube itself. From there, we have 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch reducer bushings. These are just short lengths of 1/2 inch or 1/2 inch PVC, and then end caps with holes drilled out on them. And then what I did was I put the surgical tubing through. I tied a knot in it on each side, but obviously make sure you run it through your 1/2 inch CPVC tee, which I'll go over in a second when I open this up. But that's basically it. Another cool thing about this is it breaks down. For those of you who haven't seen my other video about it, the arms just pop out. They're only held in by friction, allowing it to reduce in size quite a bit. So I'm going to open this up in a second just to show you guys what's going on the inside. Okay, now I've broken it down a little bit so you can further understand how I made this particular blaster. Like I said, it's extremely similar to a snap. In the front here you can see your 1" to 1/2 inch bushing, which has been glued in, and then has 2 support screws, one on each side. And if you're going to make it into a crossbow like this one, you have to countersink that particular piece so it sits flush with the rest of the PVC, and the coupler or the T-fitting can sit over it. So it's pretty standard. We have the clothespin trigger down here, which is very similar to most snap-based blasters. What it is there's a L bracket. Inside of here there's a nail, which has been, these two sections of the clothespin have been filled in with epoxy putty. And then as you can see on the inside, let me just get it. You see the head of the nail comes up just slightly, which will act as our catch. And when you pull the trigger, it pulls it down, which releases the head of the plunger, which I'll show you in a second. Wooden handle held in with 2 screws, which is what these 2 holes are for on the top, and that's also fairly standard on most snaps. Getting to the plunger head itself, it's just your standard 2 rubber washers, then your standard 2 metal washers with the spacer in between. And what happens is when you pull back the head of the nail, will get caught on here on your epoxy putty ramp. It'll force it to go over into this section, and it'll get stuck, and that'll effectively prime the blaster. Then when you want to shoot it, you pull the trigger, which lowers the nail slightly, and then this shoots forward, which is how the whole blaster works. Let's see. So that's all housed on the 1/2" CPVC end cap. The whole rod is 1/2" CPVC, and there's the T at the end, which the surgical tubing runs through, as you saw before. And then the end cap is the only other thing, which is 1/2" PVC with the hole drilled in it. That's pretty much everything I can think of. To show you about this particular blaster, it is fairly similar to most snaps. So like I said, I will put a link in the description about the forum post for the original snap forum post, which would help you guys a lot, because it actually has step-by-step instructions about how to build something similar to this, which is what mine was based off of, so I'm sure you could figure it out with a little bit of tweaking. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions about this blaster, or you just want to know anything about it, feel free to post a comment in the description, in the comment section down below. So like I said, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.